here on YouTube for the 1992 Black Maxx set. As you can see, I've got some names up here. My phone will not, I'm going to look at my options here and see if I can switch my camera around. And there, it lets me switch the camera around. So, welcome aboard, guys. We're going to get ready to get into the break here. But first, some notes about the 2021 QuikTrip 500 at Atlanta, the Folds of Honor QuikTrip 500 at Atlanta. If you've seen that, it was a pretty good finish. Kyle Larson dominated the race. He won the first two stages and led a total of 268 laps. But Ryan Blaney ended up being the surprise winner. Larson was second. Let's see here. Alex Bowman third. Denny Hamlin fourth. And Kyle Busch was fifth. Sixth was Austin Dillon. Chris Buescher was seventh. Truex Jr. was eighth. William Byron was ninth, and Kevin Harvick come back from a disappointing race, even though he started near the front, to finish 10th. Some other finishers, DiBenedetto was 11th. The 22 car of Joey Logano was 15th. Was a kind of surprising run there. I thought he would have done a little bit better. Bubba Wallace was 16th. Daniel Suarez was 17th. Chase Elliott blew an engine and finished 38th, and Kurt Busch was caught up in an incident and finished 39th. There was only 5 yellows, 2 stage breaks, 1 competition caution, and the 2 aforementioned DNFs, which was Kurt Busch crashing out after a restart, and Chase Elliott lost his engine on the restart. So overall, if I was going to give this race a grade, I'd give it about a B+, because Atlanta has a lot of wear and abrasiveness in the track, so it allows it to, it's kind of like Darlington, it's kind of like Homestead. It's all about tires, it's all about saving your car, saving your equipment. So it ended up being a pretty good race. I'm going to go ahead and switch the camera back around here to the laptop view. And I'm going to zoom in on this as best I can. So you see, well, will it let me zoom in? There we go. I'm still kind of learning a little bit of this. So I've got 4 people. This is for the first break. And then these are the people that are in the second break. And we're going to roll the dice real quick here. I'm going to roll 2 dice on the random.org, and that will tell us how many times we're going to randomize each one. So we're going to roll the dice 4 times, or we're going to shuffle this 4 times. Now we're going to try to focus. Not sure why we're not focusing. I apologize for this. There we go. So this will be for the first break, and I'm going to shuffle these names, or I'm going to zoom out so you guys can see the count and everything. There you go. But what we're going to do is we're going to randomize this 4 times. If we can get it back in focus. So let's go randomize once. Twice. 3 times. And 4 times. Okay, so Cardinals fan, you will get the top left stack. Tyler S., you will get the top right stack. Wes S., you will get the bottom left stack. And Rick O., you will get the bottom right stack. So I'm going to write these down on my paper here so that I know who's got what. And I just apologize for this, because this little tripod I have is not the very best. So top left, top right, bottom left, and bottom right. So now we're going to go ahead and go to our second group. And I want to just go ahead and get this done out of the way, so that this way our laptops, we can get this laptop away. So again, we're going to randomize this list 4 times. If I can find my cursor. Randomize once. Twice. 3 times. And the 4th and final time. So Jim W., Jim, you will get the top left stack. Lee, you will get the top right stack. Tyler, you will get the bottom left stack. And Darby, you will get the bottom right stack in box number 2. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the laptop here. Just get it out of the way so we can kind of get things rolling. So we've got the randomization process done and out of the way. Let me zoom out. Come on, zoom out a little bit more. I think that's all it's going to give me on this app. One more. That's all it's going to zoom out, so I apologize. Not used to working with this before. That we said before, box 1 is the bottom box. And I'm going to get this, put it right here so everybody knows where we're at as far as who is up. So who do we have up first? Well, first we need to get this box cleared off. I don't like the fact that the YouTube is wanting to focus in on the wrong things. Come on. So this is box 1 of the break. Get that overwrap cut out. There we go. So we have a nice fresh box. We'll display this like it would be if it was in your hobby shop. So top left is Cardinals fan. Let me get your little card out here that I've made up for everybody. So you have top left, box 1. So this is where we're at. Top left, box 1. This is left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. So we're going to start with Cardinals fan. Good luck. You are now on the clock. There's your 9 packs. And just a note to everybody that's in this, please double check your emails. I need your addresses because for some reason it did not show through on my PayPal, on the app, or on the website. So Cardinals fan, we're going to start with yours. And I do have top loaders and soft sleeves ready to go when we hit some of those good rookie cards and other top cards of guys. So here we go. First pack, Black Maxx 1992. You see the back of the packs there, Club Maxx, and their offerings. So let's start ripping. Very nice. Right out of the box, Cardinals fan. You have a Dale Earnhardt 1991 Maxx Race 21 right on top there. So that's the first card of the day. We'll get that one sleeved up for you here in a minute. This is one of the Wood brothers. Who is this one? We're going to go through these relatively quickly. Lynn Wood, of course, he's one of the owners of the team. Butch Mock. He was just recently on the Scene Vault podcast. Rick Mast. Ricky Rudd. Phil Parsons. So you're getting, hey, Tyler, how are you doing? Good to see you in the chat. Jeffrey Bodon, we just got started a few minutes ago. Bill Venturini, he is an owner in the ARCA series. Shauna Robinson. This is not Shauna's rookie card. Her rookie card is actually in the 1990 Maxx set, but there's still an opportunity we could pull that. Pete Suspenzo, I believe he works with one of the Rick Ware racing teams now. Phil Barkdahl, whose son Steve Barkdahl is a spotter. Rich Bickle, he ran the ARCA race this year. These are all pro cards. Don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but in the late 80s, early 90s, NASCAR had all pro teams for all the different positions. So there you have Norman Koshimishu and Jerry Swites. These were truck drivers. So literally every position on the road crew and in the shop crew. Come on, phone. Let's not be playing this game. There we go. A couple more all-pro cards. We're going to flip these around. So you have Devin Barbie and Ronnie Revis, and Paul Andrews and Mike Hill. Mike Hill, I believe, was with Junior Johnson. Of course, Paul Andrews with Alan Kowicki's team. Up next, pack number 2 for you, Cardinals fan. Not sure who we're going to get here. Hut Strickland, Uncorrected Error, 1988 Maxx. This is his rookie, so I'll get that one sleeved up for you. Should be Strickland. You see his name there, Strickland, L-I-N, not Land, L-A-N-D, as it is on the card. So you got a nice 1988 Maxx. There's Charlie Presley, and is that Eric Dickerson or Eddie Dickerson? No, it's Gary Brooks. I'm not familiar with many of the crewmen. I believe that's Doug Reichert and Tim Brewer. A couple crew chiefs. A.J. Foyt, that's a nice card. Dale Inman, be a nice TTM for you, Cards fan. Waddell Wilson, Hall of Famer. Robin Pemberton. crew chief for Roush for quite a long time. There's Eddie, I want to say Eric, but it's Eddie Dickerson, former crew chief for Rusty Wallace and tire changer and jack man. I think he's had about every responsibility. Veteran road racer Tom Kendall. There's Irv Hare, Stanley Smith, who recently passed away, Bobby Hillen Jr. He does TTM. Jeff Burton, NBC analyst, and another All-Pro. I believe that's Leo Jackson. And Eddie Lanier, engine builders. And then an All-Pro card. The first team All-Pro cards. First team All-Pro, or I'm sorry, the driver All-Pro cards got a single card or an individual card. So we have pack number 3 for Cardinals fan. There you see he's the one that is up next, or up on the clock right now. Robert G. Robert G. All-Pro 1989 Maxx. Of course, Robert G. is the grandfather of Dale Earnhardt Jr. on his mother's side. He is the father of Brenda G. There's Beth Bruce. She was a former Miss Winston, kind of like the Monster Energy girls or the Sprint girls that they used to have. They had some Winston show girls that would go around with the show car. Winston Kelly, he's with the NASCAR Hall of Fame now. Of course, there's another Hall. He's the, I don't know, he's in charge of the Hall of Fame. I'm not sure exactly what his title is. There is Ned Jarrett. He is a Hall of Famer. Got a checklist. Daryl Waltrip, race 18 at Pocono. That would have been his second win of 1991. Race 23, it looks like North Wilkesboro, Dale Earnhardt. Won snapped Harry Gant's 4-race winning streak. Harry Gant, the first race of his winning streak from 1991. So your race number 17, Talladega, that's going to be the Die Hard 500. That was a pretty good race. Steve Bird, crew chief. I believe is that Ricky Pearson or Eddie Pearson? Eddie Pearson. So he's a crew chief for, and it's not letting me focus in. I really can't read it. But he was a crew chief in the Busch Series back in the day. Sterling Marlin's bad crash at Bristol in 1991. Rick Mast crash in the 91 Die Hard 500. Rookie of the Year candidates, Bobby Hamilton Jr. and Ted Musgrave. Bobby won Rookie of the Year driving for TriStar. There you see Ted Musgrave. He was driving for Radius Motorsports, which was Ray and Diane DeWitt and DK Ulrich. And Robert Presley. Cards fan, we're almost halfway through your stack of cards. You've got some nice ones so far. Brett Bodine rookie, 1988 Maxx. These are really nice condition. They're well centered. Very sharp corners. So you got a Brett Bodine rookie. Jeff Purvis. Ted Musgrave. This is actually his second year card. His rookie card is in 1991 tracks. There's Patty Moise. I believe her rookie card is in 89 Maxx. Got some more All-Pros. It's Andy Petrie and who's the other guy? Will Lind. This camera's starting to bug me. Kirk Shelmadine, Tony Glover, crew chiefs, All-Pro. You got an All-Pro card of Dale Earnhardt. That's a very nice one. I'll get that one sleeved up. Jim Phillips, MRN. Mike Joy, who's currently with Fox. You got another checklist. You got to love them. Bill Elliott, race 15. That would have been the Pepsi 400. That was that race Daryl had that bad crash in. Race 27 at Rockingham. Harry Gant's win, race 23, so that's going to be the Peak 500 at Dover. Find that one on YouTube. That's a fun race to watch. Race number 13, Dale Jarrett. I was at this race. Him and Davey Allison had a photo finish. That was a very exciting finish. And there's Ricky Pearson, one of the 3 Pearson boys of sons of David Pearson. We had Eddie Pearson earlier. This is Ricky. He was crew chief for the Robert Presley Busch Series team back in the day. Hey, Wes, how are you doing? We just got started about 10 minutes ago. Ooh, you got a Cardinals fan. You got a 1990 Holly Farms Maxx Dale Jarrett. That's very nice. Those are nice cards. Again, we'll get that one sleeved up. There's Jeff Green, Jim Sauter, Mickey Gibbs, Tommy Ellis, Mark Martin, race 29. So that would have been the fall race, the Hardee's 500 in Atlanta. That was his only win of the 91 campaign. There's the 1991 running of the Winston that Davey Allison won. Of course, he won in 1992. Race 6 at Bristol for Rusty Wallace with some wacky pit road rules that day. Richmond race for Dale Earnhardt Sr. Richmond race win, I should say. I'm going to just go through the All-Pro cards. I'm not really going to spend a lot of time on those. There's Tim Brewer, Bob Johnson. Who do we have here? Steve Lloyd. Robbie Loomis, who's, I believe, with Hendrick Motorsports now as a competition director, or Petty Motorsports. Really can't remember. A lot of these guys move around so much. And this is Dennis Conner. He was crew chief for the Larry Hendrick team back in the day. So you got 4 more packs, Cardinals fan. You're pulling some good stuff here. Race number 25, 1991 Maxx, Mark Martin. Got a nice Richard Petty. That'd make a nice TTM if he'd sign right about there. Maybe with that gold Sharpie he's been using. There's DK Ulrich. There's Larry Hendrick. He passed away last year, sadly. Cale Yarborough. Don Bierswell. I believe Don passed away in the late 90s, maybe. Sterling Marlin. Brett Bodine. Michael Waltrip. Hi, Jamie Williams. How are you doing? We just got started about 10 or 15 minutes ago. Chuck Bown, 1990 Busch champion. Dave Rizzindis. You've seen that I purchased a couple autographs of his on eBay about a month or so ago. Gary Nelson, who used to work for Kyle Petty's team. Elmo Langley, pace car driver. Ed Romeo, or Chuck Romeo, former NASCAR inspector. And Doyle Ford, who was the flagman who replaced Harold Kinder after many years. You got a 1991 Maxx Race 6 winner card of Davey Allison. There you see Bobby Allison in victory lane with Davey. There's you a nice Dale Earnhardt car card. And I apologize for these focusing issues. This I'm gonna click on this and see if there's any setup here that I can use. Nope. Not really anything I can work with here. Rick Hendrick. Tim Morgan, yeah, he's one of the owners of the 4-car back in the day. Don Miller. Bilby, can't think of his first name, but he was with Bobby Allison's team. Billy Hagan. I apologize. I'm just trying to get this where it's not auto-focusing so much on the background. Leo Jackson. Dale Earnhardt. I believe this is the All-Pro card. No, it's actually the base set card. So you've been hitting some good stuff. There's Alan Kowicki, former champion. Bobby Dodder. Dale Jarrett. Ed Barrier. Ed Free. And Dave Marcus. This lens is just driving me nuts here. You have a Billy Stavola 1991 Maxx. So you have Joe Ruttman. Hey, Rick, how are you doing? We just got started about 18 minutes ago, so not too bad of timing. Got David Green. Rick, you drew stack number. I did the randomizer at the beginning, and you got the bottom right stack of the first box. So we'll get yours here right shortly. We're just going through this first stack, this top left. It was randomized, and Cardinals fan ended up with that one. So hope Cardinals fan is still in here. There's Chocolate Myers. That'd be a good one to get in TTM. A couple more All-Pro cards. Tony Glover, Crew Chief of the Year, 1991. Pit Crew Champs. Morgan Shepherd's team. Bud Moore. Andy Petrie. Jeff Hammond. Donnie Wingo, who was Morgan's crew chief. There's Kyle Petty. And Greg Sachs. Got your final pack here. Cardinals fan, good luck. Hope you get something good in that throwback, or the, I don't want to call it a throwback card, but you got another Robert G. How about that? It's kind of funny. You got 2 Robert G. All-Pro cards. But I don't think Robert G. has too many cards out there. Donnie Richardson. There's some action from Martinsville with Brett and Jeff Bodine. There's DW's Crash from the 91 Pepsi 400. Come on, there you go. So you got that one. The first night race at Richmond at the new fairgrounds. Of course, it was reconfigured in 1988, and that was the first race at night there. Lake Speed, Dorsey Schrader, Busch champ Bobby Labonte. There's Eddie Bierswell. He does TTM. Bobby Hamilton, of course, he passed away many years ago. Got another checklist. Ken Schrader's last career Cup victory there at Dover in 91. Dale Earnhardt, race 8. I'm trying to see if Dale Jr.'s in the picture, but I'm not seeing him unless that's maybe him right there. But this camera's being unfriendly. Ken Schrader, race 4, Atlanta, and then another All-Pro card. So Cardinals fan, you got some really, really nice stuff. Again, I'll sleeve these up later. And you are now off the clock. So we go to the top right stack, which is Tyler S. I'm going to write this down. Top right, box 1. Tyler S. Here's your stack. Good luck. And you get a 1991 Maxx, Mark Martin, race 2. Buddy Baker. Kenny Wallace, back when he was racing for Team 3 Racing. There's a nice Davey Allison card. Cecil Eunice, former Busch Series driver. This is H.B. Bailey. He is the father of Joe Dan Bailey, who I believe he works for Joe Gibbs Racing now, sometimes as a spotter. Carl Hill, NASCAR inspector. Buddy Morrow, NASCAR inspector. Bruce Roney, NASCAR inspector. Les Richter used to play with the Los Angeles Rams. Memorable moments, 1991. Harry Gant wins 4 in a row. Who do you have here? The McClure brothers. So that'd be Eddie, Ed, Jed, Larry, Curly, and Mo. Come on, let's get it right here. Larry, Ed, Jerry, and Teddy, but only 3 of them are pictured there. There's Leo Jackson, one of the Jackson brothers. Very cool, Tyler. I've been wanting to go to some dirt shows that Kenny's gone to, just haven't had an opportunity to, so maybe this summer I can hit one of those. There's Junior Johnson and Chuck Ryder. Both of those gentlemen, sadly, have passed on. Of course, with this set, you come across a lot of guys that have passed on. Ooh, there's a nice card. A Neil Bonnet, 1990 Holly Farms. So really like the Holly Farms set. All-Pro of Kirk Shelmerdine. We have here an All-Pro of Larry Wallace as an engine builder for Robert Yates Racing. There's Harry Gant, All-Pro driver. Was he the first team? Second team. I believe Earnhardt was the first team because Martin was the third team. Ken Squire, Dick Berggren. There we have another checklist. Rusty Wallace, race 16. So that's going to be the Richmond night race, is it not? No, it's Pocono. Pocono. So that'd be the summer Pocono race, which was rain delayed and all sorts of craziness there. Phoenix race, Davey Allison win. Harry Gant, this would have been his 4th of 4 consecutive wins in the end of the 1991 season. Alan Kulwicki got his lone 91 win at Bristol. There's Marty Houston. I'm sorry, Scott Houston, because it's Scott, Marty, and Andy are the 3 Houston brothers. This is a very cool card. It has the 5 cars that raced in the 1991 Daytona 500 for the Armed Forces. The wreck in the big one, if you will, at Talladega in 1991, where Kyle Petty broke his leg. And this would have been the fall race, I believe, at Talladega, where Dale Earnhardt pretty much dominated and held off about 7 Fords near the end of the race. So we're going to go to pack number 3. This is Tyler S. Jimmy Cox, 1991 Maxx. 1991 Maxx Jimmy Cox. Kind of popular NASCAR official. He was the stop-and-go paddle guy there. Mark Martin blew his engine in dynamic fashion in the fall Richmond race. There's Butch Miller, legendary ASA driver. Ricky Craven. I'll have to double check that one. I can't remember if that's his rookie or not, so I'm going to set it aside to maybe sleeve up. I believe it is his rookie, but I can't say for sure. Dave Mader, who raced in the ARCA race this year. Randy Baker, the younger brother of Buddy Baker. Most popular driver, Bill Elliott. A checklist. Easton James, hey, how are you doing? Then we have Davey Allison, another win. Is this Sonoma? I believe it is. Yes, Sears Point. That was kind of a controversial finish. You guys will have to go back and check that one out. The 91 Banquet Frozen Foods 400 or 300 or whatever it was called. Harry Gant win. Ricky Rudd won at Darlington, but Michael Waltrip led the most laps that day. 91 Daytona 500, Ernie Irvin win. Dewey Livingood, crew chief for Terry Labonte at the time. And this Doug Williams. Yes, Doug Williams, former crew chief. So we're almost halfway through the first box, and you get a Buddy Parrott. Very nice. I think Buddy will be in the Hall of Fame sometime. Buddy is a legendary crew chief. Go back on the Scene Vault podcast and listen to the interviews with Buddy Parrott. I think that was about episode maybe 24, 25, somewhere thereabouts. He has some really good stories of back in the 70s working for Dyguard and some of the other teams. I believe he worked with Richard Petty for a while. So you have Jimmy Makar, Donnie Allison. He does TTMs. That'd be a nice one to get signed. Bob Labonte, the father of Bobby and Terry. There's Daryl Waltrip, 3-time Cup champ. Mark Smith, former owner of TriStar Motorsports. Is that William or Mickey Stavola? Billy, William, whatever. Felix Sabatis, recently retired from Cup Series. Junie Donlevy, Morgan Shepherd, Ken Schrader. There's a nice one. The first Maxx card of Jeff Gordon. This is not a rookie, but it'll definitely get a sleeve. So you got a very nice early career Jeff Gordon card. Of course, the 91 Tracks is his rookie, but that's his first Maxx card. Got a Harry Gant, Joe Nemechek, and Art Krebs. This is Art Krebs. He is the father of former Winston West driver John Krebs. So far, that Gordon card, I think, has been really one of the best ones. And I apologize for if you hear any chiming in the background. Doing this directly on my data, so I may have some text messages or other messages. Got a nice Robbie Loomis 1991 Maxx, and there you can see Richard Petty. So maybe get both of those guys to sign that TTM. That'd be kind of cool. Timmy Arp, he was the one of the scorers for NASCAR. And again, I apologize for this camera going nuts. Mike Chaplin. Dick Beatty, former competition director for NASCAR. Rusty Wallace, 1991 IROC champion. Richard Childress, I've got him to sign this card in person. Richard is always a good signer in person. Don't know how he is TTM. Is that Ed McClure? Larry McClure. I don't know all the McClure brothers. He was on Scene Vault podcast. That was a very good episode. Roger Penske, the captain. There's Bobby Allison. Is that Glenn or Leonard? Glenwood. Bob Rahilly, one half of the Raymock ownership. There's Rusty Wallace, Mark Martin, Hut Strickland, and Wally Dallenbach Jr. when he was driving for Roush. You got some solid Hall of Famers in that pack. It's a very nice pack there. So we'll keep rolling here. Oh, wow. Davey Allison rookie. Yes, this one will definitely get a sleeve. That is incredible. Very, very nice pull. I'm kind of separating these in each person's stack. Some cards that need to be sleeved up, but that one will definitely, I think that's the best one. So Mike McLaughlin, Chad Little, as my camera decides to not focus, John Paul Jr., who recently passed away. Of course, he had a pretty controversial career when he was in the IMSA series. Tom Peck, Larry Phillips, probably one of the greatest racers in the Midwest. James Luder, all-pro machinist. Who is this? Slick Poston, he's another all-pro guy with, I don't want to go through all the teams that he was with. Will Lind, all-pro. Norman Koshimishu. Not familiar with this guy. Scott Robinette. I believe this is Bill. Is that Bill Ellis? Jeffrey Ellis. Okay. Steve Neal. Larry McReynolds. Look how young Larry looks back then in 1991. And Mike Beam. So really nice cards in that. Davey Allison stole the show. So you got a couple more packs to go here for Tyler S. I know you're in the second break as well. This pack was a little more difficult to open, and you got, wow, they're loading us up with Robert G's. So you get yourself a Robert G. Then you have Dan Elliott, I believe, or Ernie. That was Ernie, the engine builder and crew chief. Larry Pearson, son of David Pearson. Dick Trickle. And you got another Jeff Gordon. This is the Jeff Gordon 1991 Busch rookie card. So there's his stats for his 1991 Busch season. He was the rookie of the year in the Busch series. So you pulled two really strong Gordon cards, and that Davey rookie card was very nice. Iron Man Jack Ingram, 93 Busch champ Steve Grissom. Is that Harold Stott? Yes, that's Harold Stott. Another Larry McReynolds. Is this Renee White? Yes, Renee White. Jack Arute, who has a podcast out now. Neil Bonnet. Checklist. And race 14 at Michigan. I believe Hut Strickland was second in this race. Yep, Hut Strickland finished P2 in that race. So I apologize for this camera. It's just focusing on the first thing that it sees, and I haven't quite got that figured out yet. So you have a 1990 Holly Farms Maxx of Benny Parsons. 91 Mellow Yellow 500. Jeff Bodine won that race, of course. That was Chad Little's first career top 10, just a little fact. So you have a Harry Gant, race 20. Ernie Irvin, race 18 at Watkins Glen. This is the race, sadly, that J.D. McDuffie lost his life in. There's Jeff Hensley. I believe he's still crew chiefing in the truck series. There's Pops Urey, Tony Urey Sr. This was from the spring Bristol race in 91. Davey Allison spun Daryl Waltrip out about 2/3 through the race. Ken Schrader at Sears Point. And that was always a nice photo when the cars would come through the corner and they'd get them right side tires way up in the air. There's that photo finish of Dale Jarrett and Davey Allison, 1991. I was sitting way back over here, further up between closer to turn 4. Mark Stahl. Mark does TTMs. Ward Burton. Early in his Busch Series career, there's Troy Beebe, Terry Labonte, Jimmy Spencer, and a very nice picture of Dale Earnhardt, the 91 Series champion. And there's his stats for the 1991 season. If we can get him in focus. I don't know why we're having so much problems today with the camera. Again, I apologize for this. We'll try to get those issues resolved down the road. And your final pack, Tyler, is Don Bierswell. Don is the father of Eddie Bierswell, fielded his cars, the number 23 cars that Eddie drove in the Cup Series for a number of years. There's Davey Allison, the Coke 600 winner. Daryl Waltrip, his first race win as a car owner. Kyle Petty won at the Rock early in the season. Glenn Bobo, one of the, is he a fabricator? I'm not sure what he was, what part of the team he was on. Billy Engel, crew chief for Michael Waltrip. Clyde McLeod. This is probably Leonard Wood. Yes, Leonard Wood. We had Glenn earlier. David Ift. I believe he was a crew chief for Rob Moroso for a bit. Barry Dodson. Nice Bill Elliott card. Dave Fuge, one of the 3 owners of TriStar Motorsports. Travis Carter. Bob Whitcomb. And Harry Melling. So Tyler, you did awesome that round. So I'm going to put your cards together. These will be, I'll get the cards sleeved up that need to be sleeved up. And I know you got another stack going on here. So we have the top, that takes care of the 2 top stacks. The bottom left stack, Wes, you are up now. So this is bottom left, box 1. So bottom left, box 1 is Wes. Don't know, you got a long way to go there to beat some of those pulls that Tyler had, so good luck. This is your first of 9 packs. So we have the Wood Brothers, 1991 Maxx. I think this is cool that Maxx put 1 card in every pack of their black Maxx. Yes, Tyler, I'm going to try to go to that SRX race in July. I'm excited about that. I look forward to that. I intend on getting pit passes if they'll let me, because there's some other drivers there that I want to get some autographs of. So there's Larry Mack, Renee White. So it looks like we're starting to get into a few repeats. Jack Arute, Neil Bonnet, Checklist, Davey Allison, nice win card there. Jeff Bodine, Harry Gant, Ernie Irvan. Of course, these are race win cards. Jeff Hensley, Tony Uri Sr. There's Davey and DW again at Bristol. Ken Schrader at Sears Point. And that finish of the 1991 champion Sparkplug 500 or 400 at Michigan. I apologize. Just seen general admission tickets. Yeah, that's... I think that a lot of times with Raceway Park, I know with the ARCA series that you buy the pit passes when you get there. So I'm kind of hoping that that's the way that it goes. That if not, maybe they'll have like some kind of autograph session. I think that'd be a lot of fun to be able to go down there and get some of the other guys' autographs. Oh wow! So Wes, you have the Winston winner card from 1991 Maxx, Dale Earnhardt. So we have Mark Stahl, Ward Burton. There's Troy Beebe. He was involved in a horrible crash in Watkins Glen in 1990. In practice with Mark Martin and Dick Trickle. There you see Terry Labonte, Jimmy Spencer. There's a nice 91 champ. You got two really good Earnhardt cards in this pack. Davey Allison, Daryl Waltrip, Kyle Petty, Glenn Bobo, All-Pro card, Billy Engel, crew chief, Clyde McLeod. He's crew chief for Todd Bodine in the Busch Series. Talked about Leonard Wood a little bit, and David Ift. So lots of Hall of Famers in that pack. Moving right along. Got a 1988 Maxx. This is the Charlotte Motor Speedway track card. So I'm going to turn this over real easy. And if you see, it has the layout of the track, kind of has your ticket information, card number 56. And this was before, obviously, you had websites. You actually had to call the ticket office and request a ticket brochure, and they'd send you one, and you'd call them back and pick what tickets you wanted if they were available. So you have Barry Dodson, Bill Elliott, Hall of Famer. I'm sure Barry Dodson will get in the Hall of Fame someday, championship crew chief. Dave Fuge, Travis Carter. I believe he was a crew chief for Cale Yarborough in the 70s for Junior Johnson. Bob Whitcomb won the 1990 Daytona 500 as car owner for Derek Cope. Harry Melling should get in the Hall of Fame. He's got 2 Daytona 500 wins and a title as an owner. There's Buddy Baker. Kenny Wallace. A nice Davey Allison card. Cecil Eunice. H.B. Bailey. And H.B. stands for Herring Burrell. Herring Burrell Bailey is his full name. We had Carl Hill earlier. Morrow and Roney. And I always thought it was cool if they put the officials cards in these sets, because you hear about them on TV, but at least you get a little bit more information about them in the cards. A 1988 Maxx Ken Schrader. This is a rookie. Very nice. That one will definitely be getting sleeved up. Les Richter. Got a couple cards of his I bought at card shows where he played for the Rams. We have Harry Gant. The McClure brothers again. Not sure which of the 3 of the 4 of those are, but Leo Jackson, who is the owner of Harry Gant's car. Leo and Richard Jackson own the 33 and the 1 car. They were both sponsored by Skoll. And really, they were team cars, but they weren't team cars. It's a long story, but it was interesting. There's Junior Johnson, multiple-time champion in the Cup Series as an owner. Chuck Ryder. We say this was Linwood. We've seen him earlier today. Butch Mock, one half of the Ray Mock team. Rick Mast. Ricky Rudd. Phil Parsons. Jeff Bodine. Bill Venturini. And Shauna Robinson. Hey, Cardinals fan, how are you? I see did you pop in just now? I've already did your cards. You got some pretty nice ones. Right now we're doing Wes's stack here. Oh, wow, very nice. Alan Kwiecki, Holly Farms Maxx from 1990. Always liked them Holly Farms sets. Never got the chance to get one till recently. Because 89 they had the Crisco set, 90 they had the Holly Farms. I think they had some other set in 91. Pete Suspenzo, Phil Barkdahl. We have here Rich Bickle. Then we have Norman Koshimishu, and I can't remember the other gentleman's name, Jerry Schweitz. Again, these are all pro cards. So what the All-Pro Series was back in the late 80s, early 90s is every position had a ballot, and the crews, every crew would vote for every position, who they thought the best one was in each position. There's Doug Reichert and Tim Brewer. A.J. Foyt, legendary 4-time Indianapolis 500 winner. He has 7 career Cup Series wins. Dale Inman, who is the winningest crew chief in terms of championships with 8. He has 7 titles with Richard Petty and won his 8th title in 1984 with Terry Labonte. There's Waddell Wilson, another Hall of Famer. Robin Pemberton, Eddie Dickerson, and Tommy Kendall, legendary IMSA and road racing driver. Tommy had a brief stab at NASCAR in the early 90s, but nothing came out of it. 1991 Maxx, race 29. Of course, this was another race marred with tragedy as Mike Rich was killed in the pits. He was a rear tire changer for Bill Elliott, but that was Morgan Shepherd's 3rd career win, 2nd in Atlanta. Irv Hare, former road racing driver. Stanley Smith, Bobby Hillen, Jeff Burton. We have more all-pro cards, so we're just going to kind of skim through those. We know that's Mark Martin. We know this camera's having problems focusing, so I continue to apologize. Beth Bruce, former Winston showgirl. There's Winston Kelly, Ned Jarrett, Checklist, Daryl Waltrip, Pocono win, Dale Earnhardt, Holly Farms 400 near the end of the season. Snapped Harry's 4-race win streak. There's Harry. Southern 500 winner, and Dale Earnhardt, race Talladega. Yep, Talladega. So you got a couple more packs here. Get through those. Who's your throwback card going to be? It's going. Wow, Richard Petty. We're pulling some fire tonight with these vintage cards that are coming out of this. So you got a Richard Petty 1991 Maxx. So number 43, that would be a good one to get signed at TTM. So you have Steve Bird. I know he was crew chief for Robbie Moroso for a bit. Pearson. Which Pearson was this one? Eddie Pearson. There's Sterling Marlin's crash. Rick Mask crash. We've already seen that. Musgrave and Hamilton. Of course, that was the 1991 rookie battle. Robert Presley. Jeff Green. I can't remember if this is Jeff Green's rookie card or not. I'm drawing a blank on that one, because between 89 and 92, there were so many rookie cards. There's Jim Sauter, Mickey Gibbs, Tommy Ellis, Mark Martin, Davey Allison, Rusty Wallace, and Dale Earnhardt. These last few were race win cards. Got 2 more packs to go. So everybody's got some really, really nice stuff so far. Ken Schrader rookie. I can't remember if you had a Ken Schrader rookie or if it was in the other stack. I think it was in the other stack. But nonetheless, a nice 1989 or 1988 Maxx Ken Schrader rookie. Oh, they gave you 2 throwback cards. You got a 91 Sterling Marlin too. How about that? So we start with some all-pro cards here. Tim Brewer, I believe that's the first time we've seen his base card. Bob Johnson, Steve Lloyd, Robbie Loomis, Dennis Conner. There's a nice Richard Petty. That'd be nice to get signed TTM. D.K. Ulrich, Larry Hendrick, who was the owner of the 41 car. Cale Yarbrough, who was the owner of the 66 at the time. Then it switched to 98 car in 1993. Don Bierswell, we talked about him briefly. Sterling Marlin, Brett Bodine, and Michael Waltrip. So, Wes, this is your first pack, or I'm sorry, your last pack out of your first stack, because you got a stack coming up, or actually your stepson has a stack coming up in the second box. So we end this one with, well, that's weird, maybe because that Sterling Marlin was supposed to have been in this pack. So you got a Chuck Bown, Dave Rizzindis, Gary Nelson, Elmo Langley, Ed Romeo, Doyle Ford. So very nice Dale Earnhardt. Wish this camera would focus a little bit better. There you go. Nice clear image of that Dale Earnhardt. Rick Hendrick, that'd be a nice one to get TTM. He does TTM. If you've seen my video about a month ago, I got 3 cards. There's Tim Morgan, Don Miller, Bob Bilby, I remembered his name now, Billy Hagan, and Richard Jackson. And the final card is Dale Earnhardt, the base set card. So you got some really nice cards in that stack. Again, I'll get a lot of these sleeved up for you when we go off air. So I'm going to set this stack off to the side, off camera. And then our final stack in box number 1. So I put my box off to the side here. That was the bottom right. Rick, you are up next. And I'm looking for your little placard here that I've got made. So bottom right. Box 1. So this is Rick O. Rick O, these are your packs, and you are on the clock now. Good luck. We've got some heaters in those first 3 stacks, so let's see if that continues. It does. Got a 1990 Holly Farms Bill Elliott. That's a pretty nice card. Yes, Rick, let's see some fire for sure. So you got Bill Elliott right off the bat. Jimmy Finnig. Of course, he's with Roush Racing. Buddy Parrott. He should be in the Hall of Fame. Roberts. Gene Roberts. Okay. There's Steve Barkdahl. We talked about him earlier. Son of Phil Barkdahl. He works with Joe Gibbs Racing, or he works with one of the teams. I can't remember. I know he worked with Front Row for a while as a spotter. There's Harry Hyde, who the crew chief Harry Hogg in Days of Thunder was loosely based after. 1990 Daytona winner Derek Cope. There's Ray and Diane DeWitt, the owners of the 55 car, along with D.K. Ulrich. Chuck Little, this is the dad of Chad Little and the grandfather of Jesse Little. There's Dick Moroso, father of Rob Moroso. Sam McMahon III, no relation to Vince, of course, but this guy, I believe he got in trouble for money laundering. He came in with a bunch of money and a bunch of promises, and almost ruined the career of Kenny Wallace in the process. So I'm sure there's some information online that you could find out, but lots of things went haywire with that team in 1991. There's Mike Wallace, Jimmy Hensley, Clifford Allison, who sadly lost his life in practice at Michigan in 1992, and Todd Bodine, a two-time Truck Series champion. And I was at Michigan the day that Clifford did lose his life. That was pretty rough. Ooh, you got a 1990 Maxx Terry Labonte Holly Farms card. It's a pretty nice card. I really like those Holly Farms cards. Tommy Houston, former Busch Series driver. Chris Economack, it's a nice card. Whitmore. Drawing a blank on the first name. Jack Whitmore. Don't remember much about Jack. Jimmy Cox, he was the stop-and-go man at the end of pit road. Buster Otten, I believe Buster is still a NASCAR official. I've met him a few times down at Indy. Robert Black, he was a former Busch Series director. Robert Yates, of course, he passed away a few years ago. There's Jack Roush. He did get a top 10 today with Chris Buescher. Ryan Newman had a pretty strong run, too. Bud Moore, of course, we know his stories about the D-Day invasion on Normandy and all that. So, very proud World War II veteran was Bud Moore. Eddie Wood, I can never remember all the... There's so many Woods in there. They're like the McClures. There's about 100 of them. You can't remember all of them. Kenny Bernstein, drag racer. That'd probably be a nice one to get autographed. George Bradshaw, he was the third of the 3 members of the TriStar Motorsports. There's Ernie Irvin and Rick Wilson while he was driving for Stavola Brothers. He drove for them for the entire 91 season with no top 10s. Drove for them in the 92 Daytona 500 and then was released promptly thereafter. Ooh, Paul Andrews, crew chief for Alan Kulwicki, 1991 Maxx. It's a nice looking card. Got to meet Paul a couple years ago at Raceway Park here in Indianapolis. Paul works for one of the ARCA teams. He's a crew chief still, so still in the racing game. There's Mike Chase. Randy LaJoy, this is the father of Corey LaJoy. Tracy Leslie, former Busch Series driver. Bobby Hamilton, 91 Rookie of the Year. Jim Bound, I just sent to him TTM, so hopefully get him back soon. And I did get back from Charlie Glotzback. Jack Sprague, former Truck Series champion. Now we get into some All-Pros. David Little. Who's this one? Gale Wilson, I believe he's a truck driver. A rig driver, that is, not a truck series. Danny Lawrence. Dan Ford. So I'm getting into some guys that I don't recall a lot about. David Smith. Of course, he would be crew chief for Dale Earnhardt for 1 year between that Kirk Shelmerdine and Andy Petrie time, or was it between Andy Petrie and Larry McReynolds? It was during that interim time. Ken Wilson and Kirk Shelmerdine. Of course, Kirk Shelmerdine did go on to win a few races in the ARCA Series. Actually won a race while driving for James Hilton, believe it or not, at Charlotte, I believe, in around 2004. Doug Williams, former crew chief. Trying to see what car he's with here in this picture, but I'm drawing a blank on it. Doug Williams, is it going to tell me who he's crew chief for? It doesn't. But it's looking like it's the 66 car. So it was Cale Yarborough Motorsports. It's Tony Glover, Richard Broom, Paul Andrews, Bobby Labonte, James Hilton. We just spoke of him. I got to meet him once down at Raceway Park. Jimmy Means, I've sent off to him TTM, so hopefully I'll get those back soon. Bill Sedgwick, Elton Sawyer, who's a NASCAR official now. There's Kirk Shelmerdine again as a tire changer. Larry Wallace, Harry Gant, All-Pro, Ken Swire, Dick Berggren, and a checklist. We all love our checklists. So about halfway through Rick's packs here. Then we'll have 4 more packs to go. We have Ed Barrier. Ed's the son of legendary driver in the Carolinas, Max Barrier. Ed was a journeyman driver in the Busch Series, had 1 win back in 1998 at Hickory, driving for Jimmy Means, believe it or not. There's Rusty Wallace. Davey Allison win. Harry Gant, Goody's 500 winner. That was his 4th win in a row that season. Alan Hwicki. Is that Marty or Scott? Again, I can't remember all the Houstons. There's about as many of them too. There's that picture from the 91 Daytona 500. Kyle Petty's broken leg car. There's the 1990. Hey, thanks for stopping in. I'll try to pull you some good ones in round 2. Just be sure to come back. Check it out at the end because you're bottom left, so you'll be next one up. So thanks for dropping in, Tyler. Good to have you on board. There's Mark Martin, Butch Miller, ASA standout. Ricky Craven, again, I can't remember if this is his rookie or not, so I'll set that one aside. Dave Mater III, Randy Baker, and most popular driver Bill Elliott. And on the back, it'll give you the list from 1991 all the way back to 1962 of all the most popular drivers. And there you see that huge streak. It always seems to be like one driver. Petty won it for a while. Bobby won it for a while. Of course, Dale Jr. won it forever. And now we're in that Chase Elliott mode where he's going to win it for quite some time. 1988 Maxx North Wilkesboro track card. Look at that crowd. That was it. That was the entire crowd. I think there may have been a few people down in 1 and 2. Look at those pits. Very tight, very narrow. And let's look at the 19. There's your information. I don't know what would happen if you called that number today. Who might answer that? That'd be kind of a fun little project for somebody. You got checklist. Davey Allison race win. Harry Gant, Ricky Rudd, Darlington Spring Race. Talked about that a little bit earlier. Michael Waltrip dominated this race. You got a couple cards sticking together there. Ernie Irvin, 91 Daytona 500. That was a wacky race. Dewey Livengood, Labonte's crew chief. There's Doug Williams. Jimmy Maycar, Donnie Allison, Bob Labonte, DW, Mark Smith, Billy Stavola, and Felix Sabatas. So, Rick, you got 3 more cards. Hope I can pull you something really good out of this. Let's see who you get. Ned Jarrett. That'd be a nice one to send TTM because these 90 Maxx cards, they have that finish that those Sharpies really like to stick to. And I'm going to show you there. It is creased on the corner a little bit. I do apologize. So not sure if that happened maybe in the manufacturing or the process, but I did want to point that out to you. That Jarrett does have a bit of a wrinkle on the upper right-hand corner. So you have Bobby Allison. Is this Glenn or Leonard? Glenn. Bob Rahilly. Got a nice Rusty Wallace there. Mark Martin, so we're heading into the Hall of Fame part. Hut Strickland, Wally Dallenbach Jr., Mike McLaughlin during his Busch North days, Chad Little when he was driving for his family-owned number 19. There's John Paul Jr., Tom Peck, Larry Phillips, who will probably be in the NASCAR Hall of Fame someday, James Luter, and Slick Poston. Slick was a big name in the engine world of NASCAR back in the late 80s, early 90s. Joe Nemechek. I think this is about a second-year Nemechek card. I want to say his rookie's in 1990. That's still a nice Joe Nemechek card from 1991. Danny Lawrence, or I'm sorry, Will Lind. Norman Koshimishu. Scott Robinette. Jeffrey Ellis. Steve Meal. Larry Mack. Got Mike Beam. Ernie Elliott. Larry Pearson during Kellogg's first foray into NASCAR. Dick Trickle once again, driving for Cale Yarborough. Oh, you got you a nice Jeff Gordon. There you go. There's some of that fire you were looking for. A nice Jeff Gordon Busch rookie card. Busch Rookie of the Year card, I should say. Iron Man Jack Ingram, Steve Grissom, and All-Pro of Harold Stott. And Harold Stott is the son of Ramo Stott, who was the pole sitter of the 76 Daytona 500. So Last Pack Mojo is right, Rick. Let's pull something really, really hot out of this. This is the last pack for you, and last pack out of box number 1. Let me get this all the way torn off. There we go. We see Mr. Penske on the back. But who's going to be your vintage card? Robert G. once again. Oh, I think your Jeff Gordon was your best one, but still Robert G. It's pretty nice because you figured the lineage, grandfather of Dale Earnhardt Jr. There's a legend, Junie Donlevy. Morgan Shepherd, to be a nice TTM one. Okay, the Nemechek Derby, thank you. The Nemechek is an RC. I couldn't remember. I thought he was in 1990. I thought his RC was in 1990, but... And you got the Gordon card, too. Very nice, Rick. So this, you did get some last pack mojo there. Harry Gant, I think he'll get into Hall of Fame someday, I hope. There's Joe Nemechek. Art Krebs. Timmy Arp. Is it Mike Chaplin? Yeah, Mike Chaplin. Dick Beatty. Rusty Wallace, 1989 Series champion, but he was a 91 IROC champion. Richard Childress, Ed McClure, or Larry McClure, and of course we've seen Roger Penske on the back of that. Very cool. You got 2 really nice Jeff Gordon cards, and again, I will sleeve up all the big dog cards and the rookies, the strong rookies like that Nemechek and everything. I'm gonna put these off to the side, and we're going to get started with box 2. Of course, if you've seen the beginning of the show, we did the randomization. And top left, Jim W. Jim, I was texting with you earlier, so you're probably watching, pulled a case of the, opened a case and pulled, oh, wow. Wow, that would have been nice. 14 rookie cards of Earnhardt. That's crazy. So, Jim, if you're probably watching Fastlane right now, because you told me that was on last night, WWE pay-per-view, Fastlane is on, so top left is Jim W. Box 2. So we start our second box tonight. So Jim W, top left, box 2. So hopefully you get something good. Get those situated there, trying to get this camera to focus back in. So Jim, good luck. If you're watching Fastlane, hope it's a good pay-per-view right now. I'll turn into that just a little bit. And some of these are done, I don't know why these are done backwards, but... And only one was centered. Yeah, those 89 Maxx did have some centering issues. So, Jim, your card on the back was Rusty Wallace. You start with a nice Rusty Wallace there. Base set card. I thought it may have been an all-pro card, but still pretty sweet card there. Got a NASCAR official. Can't remember the name. What was the name? Jack Whittemore. Mike Cox. Yeah, that's a nice Rusty for sure. Buster Otten. Robert Black. I've put this set together maybe like 4 times. I got a factory set of it, and then I've put it together 3 or 4 times with cards that I bought over the years. And I'll turn one of these over again, and you can see how insanely hard it is to read those numbers. They're just super small print. So it's a fun set to put together. There's a lot of history in this set. There's Jack Roush, Bud Moore, Linwood, Eddie Wood. Yes, and usually there's like one card that you miss, Rick. I chased the Kenny Wallace card down for quite a while. Ernie Irvan, Rick Wilson, Mike Chase, and Randy LaJoy. I thought one of the sets I built for a while was the 96 Upper Deck Road to the Cup, and it always seemed like there was 2 or 3 cards in there. I see an 88 Maxx on the back, but we'll get to it here in a minute. There's the Sterling Marlin Crash from Bristol, Rick Mast, and you can see there's a definite order. It's kind of like the Topps cards and Upper Deck cards and stuff from the late 80s, early 90s. There's a definite order that these things were produced in, so it kind of makes it predictable once you learn the pattern of. I mean, they're definitely mixed up within the boxes, but working on 10 sets. Wow. I've got about 40 different sets that I'm working on right now. There's a nice Dale Earnhardt one for you, Jim. Did we pass a Ricky Rudd one? I know you like Ricky, but I didn't see Ricky in that mess. So, and who's our 88 Maxx going to be? Oh, wow, another Davey Allison rookie. So, Jim, you got yourself a nice Davey Allison rookie. Off-centered a little bit, but the corners are nice. Surface looks clean. So that's definitely one we'll get sleeved up for you. And for some reason, some of these, the cards on the back, I don't know if that was just some issue with Maxx, but a little crazy. So there's Gary Nelson, Elmo Langley, Ed Romeo, or Chuck, I don't know why I want to call him Ed Romeo for. Doyle Ford, you got a nice Dale Earnhardt car card. Get that one sleeved up. There's Rick Hendrick. That's a nice one to do TTM because you got all this white surface and he could sign in any color except that white marker that Petty's been using a lot lately. Tim Morgan. Don Miller, former partner with Penske. Bunch of extras on these. Okay, I'll do that, Rick. I'll have to find I've got 2 boxes, 2 super monster boxes that have all my sets in them, but I don't know where my list is. We got you a nice Earnhardt card and a nice Kulwicki card there, Jim. And your throwback is a 1990 Stan Barrett. Of course, Stan was the original Skull Bandit before Harry Gant became the full-time Skull Bandit, and he's a former Hollywood stuntman. His son Stanton is, come on, there you go, there you see Stanton. Stanton is also a Hollywood stuntman. I'll definitely email you, Rick, any cards that I need. I've got loads of cards that I'm working on as far as sets, going all the way from 88 Maxx to present. My one set that I'm really working on is going to take a while is 1988 Maxx PSA 10 set. So that's been a fun little project. Start off with Kyle Petty. I think I've got about 12 or 13 cards of that so far. So now we're starting to see some doubles, so we'll kind of, I'm not going to rapid fire through these, but let you guys that maybe come into the room a little bit late get a nice view of these. But yeah, I want to do a complete set of 1988 Maxx PSA 10s, and then I'll start getting into the variations and the whatever, because I'm probably never going to own that 99 card. Okay, appreciate that. Yeah, and that's one thing I forgot to ask if I didn't already. The people that are in this breaks, I may email you if you don't get me back, but for some reason PayPal didn't put your address in there, so I will need your shipping address. And who is your throwback or your vintage card going to be? It's a 91 Maxx of Harry Melling. Harry Melling, the 1988 championship owning car owner. Like I said, for some reason, some of these have them on the front, some of them have them on the back. And we start with a wreck. Daryl Waltrip from 1991 at Daytona. There's the Richmond race. Lake Speed, Dorsey Schrader should be next. I've opened enough of these packs over the years that it's kind of funny that Lake drove the Trop Audit car for part of the year, and then Schrader drove near the end of the year. I think he drove at Charlotte. He drove at Watkins Glen, and then he drove at Charlotte. So, because Lake Speed was released before the Charlotte weekend, I believe. Bobby Labonte, Eddie Bierswell, Bobby Hamilton, Rookie of the Year. Checklist. So we're just going to go through these. Rick, I'm guessing you're still here. Do you have a favorite set? Like, everybody on here pretty much knows 1996 VIP is my favorite set of all time. Very nice Richard Broom, crew chief for Ken Schrader, 1990 Maxx. And there's, I want to say it's Derek Cope in the background, but I can't tell. Might be Ben Hess. But 1996 VIP is probably my all-time favorite set. I'm working on a master set of that. I'd like to get at least one of all the relics and one of all the variations, or not the variations, but all the levels of inserts and so forth. And I know I'm getting fairly close, but it's still a ways off. There's Patty Moise. She is the wife of Elton Sawyer, and they were the first husband and wife to race together in one of NASCAR's touring division. And that will change as this weekend Stuart Friesen and his wife will race in the truck race Saturday at Bristol. There you got a nice Dale Earnhardt All-Pro card. There's Phillips, Jim Phillips with MRN, Mike Joy. Checklist. I see an 89 Maxx peeking out of the back there, so don't know who that's going to be. Hope it's not another Robert G, but we will find out here in a minute. You got Davey Allison, Harry Gant, Dale Jarrett, Ricky Pearson, and then Donnie Richardson. So 97 wheels. That was the first year you started watching. That was a pretty good season. And you got a Riverside card, Jim. This is the last race ran at Riverside for the Cup Series, 1988 Budweiser 400. And it doesn't say anything about Ruben Sierra going through the wall about halfway through the race. But this was the last Cup Series race at Riverside. They did run a few more. I'm trying to see if there was somebody in chat. I'll definitely send you a list, Rick, of when I get my list compiled, because I've got like I say, 40-some sets that I'm working on. It's been kind of crazy. But 96 VIP is definitely my favorite set all time for some reason. I have no clue why. I see an 88 Maxx popping out of the back there. So again, we're on Jim W. his cards. So Jim, if you're not watching now, I hope the pay-per-view that you're watching, I'm going to watch that later this evening. Of course, if you have WWE Network, there's Chocolate Myers. They said that they were recently purchased by Peacock, and that will be on the Peacock app, so I'm going to have to convert over to that. I really don't want to, but if I want to keep watching all that, then I'm going to have to. There's Tony Glover, 91 Pit Crew Champions. Yes, I seen it too, Wes. If it was on eBay, I think it went for $147. I was watching that. I started watching it when the bid was at $56, and I was going to bid on it. Then when it went into triple digits, I was like, nope, I'm going to walk away from that one. But I'm hoping whoever got it, hopefully they got something good, and I'm hoping that the cards didn't stick together, because, of course, you know that was the mid-90s. They were really going crazy with that UV coating, and it was just like putting maple syrup on the cards, and they just stuck together horribly. Kyle Petty. So let's see who this 88 Maxx is. It keeps teasing us here. We got one more card to go here. There we go. Ted Musgrave. I thought it was a little thick. Who's it going to be? Rodney Combs. So that one is a rookie as well. Of course, some of you may not know who Rodney Combs is, but he's a dirt track ace from West Virginia. Ran a handful of Cup races over the years. Ran a couple full seasons in the Busch Series with Richard Petty. Had some pretty nice runs. So we have Gene Roberts again. Steve Barkdahl. Forgot which Barkdahl it was. A lot of families in racing. Hey Cleveland, how are you doing? Doing my first break here. So we're Not quite 3/4 of the way finished. Been here for a little over an hour. Did anybody watch today's race by chance? And what their thoughts of it, what they thought of it? There's Mike Wallace, Jimmy Hensley, Clifford Allison, Todd Bodine, Tommy Houston, Chris Economaki, and who's the vintage card going to be? Oh, very nice. Alan Kowicki. And this one might be from the update set, because I believe the regular set had him in his Xerox outfit, and the update set had him in the Hooters outfit. So that may be from 91 Maxx Update. And Jim, this is your last pack. Yeah, Wes, that was a pretty good finish. I wasn't sure if Larson was going to hold him off or not. I thought for sure Larson had it. I kind of predicted him to win going in, and he led 270. What's my notes say over here? 268 laps out of 315. So he's pretty strong. Oh, and your boy Allgaier put the hurting on him too yesterday, Cleveland. He had a really good run yesterday. So we have Billy Hagan, former car owner, champion car owner in 1984. There's Richard Jackson. Jim, you got a Dale Earnhardt base set card, buddy. That's a good card. And an Alan Kowicki. There's Bobby Dodder. Of course, he's the owner of the 07 car in the Xfinity Series. You have Dale Jarrett, Ed Barrier, Ed Free. So we got back-to-back Eds. And there's Dave Marcus, Joe Ruttman, David Green. Yeah, SHR has had a rough year. And I think one of the things is, and they talked about this on Sirius XM on some of the shows, Cleveland, is because they didn't allow them to do any updates to the cars to this year from last year. So everybody's kind of caught up to all that stuff Stuart Haas had. So I think this year that you're going to see SHR struggle a little bit. I think Hendrick, obviously, they've brought their A game to the table. And that's where you're seeing some of these other guys like Chris Buescher, McDowell, Christopher Bell, some of the guys that you wouldn't have thought that were going to be running up front or having some really, really good runs. Who's the vintage card of your last one? Dick Trickle. Very nice. Very nice. Dick Trickle, 1989 Cup Rookie of the Year. And, of course, he was the oldest Cup Rookie of the Year. So, Jim, you got some nice cards in there. I'm going to throw this off to the side. And, again, like I said with everybody else's stack, we'll get all those sleeved up, need to be sleeved up, the rookies, the stars, and so forth. So top right, box 2, Lee. Wes, I believe you said this was your stepson. So Lee, I'm going to get your stack ready here in just a minute. So there you go. Lee is on the board for the top right stack of box number 2. And we're off and running. Oops. Couple. That glossy packs, they slide around a little bit. So let's see here. I see an 89 Maxx popping out of the back. Could Lee pull an 89 Maxx Earnhardt rookie? We'll have to see. Oh, yeah. Harvick's team. And he managed to pull off a 10th place. Hey, Jamie Williams. Yeah, Cleveland, the fact that Harvick managed a top 10 is a miracle in itself today. That was an impressive comeback, because I thought for sure after he got a lap down, I thought, okay, that's it. He's going to be about a 23rd or 24th place finish. But when Chase blew his engine, I think they took that wave around. And even though they only had a few laps on their tires, he was able to stay up on the lead lap. And then just through some attrition, I tell you what did everybody think? Almirola was lucky. His crew guys were super lucky when Alfredo came sliding in there. And then I'm surprised they didn't throw a caution on that, but everybody was really lucky with that pit road. That could have been scary in the pits there. I always worry about green flag pit stops on tracks like Atlanta and Vegas that have them really, really difficult transitions from the racetrack to the pit area. So we got some crew guys and crew chiefs here for Lee H. You got a nice Richard Petty, so that'd be a nice card to put TTM. DK Ulrich. Who do we have here? Larry Hendrick. Cale Yarborough. Yeah, that really could have been bad, because that made me think of the 1990 Atlanta race there that we mentioned earlier, where Mike Rich had tragically got killed when he got pinned between Ricky Rudd and Bill Elliott's cars. I mean, just that immediately popped into my mind. Got Michael Waltrip, Chuck Bound. Do we have one more? We have Dave Rizzindis. And who is the 89 Maxx going to be? Mike Alexander. It's a nice card. It's a rookie card. Off-centered a little bit from left to right. Mike is the father of Justin Alexander, who is the crew chief for Austin Dillon. Mike also replaced Dick Trickle in 1989. I'm sorry. Dick Trickle replaced Mike Alexander. I had that backwards. Alexander replaced Allison in the middle of 88 because Allison suffered that career-ending wreck at Pocono. Then in the Snowball Derby, Alexander crashed and had a head injury and came back too early, and then they put Trickle in the car. Of course, Trickle won Rookie of the Year. Alexander attempted to come back in 1990, and that didn't work out. Wonder if NASCAR is going to step in and maybe enforce a change to the pit road. They should. That pit road is really, really difficult. What do you guys think of that Noah Gragson, Daniel Hemrick incident on pit road during the race and after the race? I thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah, I was just getting ready to say that. Pit road's been crazy this weekend. For a 1.5 mile track, Atlanta has some tiny pit stalls. That's something that they really need to address. And being here in Indianapolis, you got a nice Dale Earnhardt 91 champ there. It's a nice looking card. And Davey Allison, Daryl Waltrip race win. And your vintage is a Mark Stahl. Mark does do TTMs, by the way, and these are nice cards to get signed. Hey, Jacob Story, how are you doing? But yes, Cleveland, that pit road. I tell you what, Indianapolis, I think Indianapolis has the worst pit road of all the ovals. Yes, no, I've heard different things. I don't know if you've seen the video that they have from the pit crew poll where Hemrick was in his pits and backed up. I can see both sides of the argument where, Noah said it was an accident and people said no, it wasn't. So I'm just going to let it play out. I mean, I don't have any favorites. I don't have any skin in the game, so it's just kind of interesting to watch. There you have a Ricky Rudd. Phil Parsons is next. Jeff Bodine, Bill Venturini. I was watching, I don't know if you guys remember when NASCAR ran some races in Australia in the late 80s, early 90s. Bill Venturini was in one of those races. They weren't NASCAR sanctioned, but they used NASCAR Cup cars at the Calder Park Thunderdome in Melbourne. So it's the Goodyear 500, 1988 Goodyear 500. Check that one out on YouTube. Shauna Robinson, Peter Suspenzo, Phil Barkdahl, Rich Bickle. Had that 4th place run in 1998 at Martinsville. Yeah, 1998 because he was driving for Cale Yarborough. So we got some All-Pro cards. I'm not going to flip these around. We kind of covered those early. And let's see who the 88 Maxx card is of. Another Ken Schrader rookie. I think that's the 3rd one we've pulled tonight, but still very nice. A Ken Schrader rookie to Lee H. Going to continue the momentum here. Davey Allison, race win. So we got some race win cards going on here. Harry Gant. I kind of thought that I didn't get to see any of the truck race. Was there any surprises in the truck race yesterday? I know Kyle Busch won, but I totally missed out. My wife and I were out flea market shopping, and so I've got some nice stuff coming up in the flea market finds video here in the next few days. I don't know when I'll drop that, but found some really nice die casts. Unfortunately, the cards were a desert. I did get a few cards, but not as much as I was hoping to get. There's Eddie Bierswell. And who's our 91 Maxx card? I seen it poking out there. Butch Miller. So this is when he was driving for Travis Carter's team in 1990. Butch is an awesome short track driver. I just don't think he adapted well to the speedways of NASCAR. And that happened with several of the guys that came up from ASA. I don't think Trickle and Sauter and some of them guys, they were great. They were beasts on short tracks, but they just didn't translate into super speedway drivers. Because Trickle always ran, I think his best 2 Cup tracks were Bristol, Martinsville, Bristol and Dover, but Martinsville kind of got thrown in there too, just being a short track. He did not do good at all at Wilkesboro for some reason. There's an Earnhardt win, Schrader win. Is that race 4? Yeah, this is the last Cup race. This is another little fact. 1991 Motorcraft 500. This is the last Cup race that there is no footage of. They started on ABC. It gets rained out to the next day. ABC took their cameras and left, and nobody stayed behind. There's highlights and other footage of the race, but it was the last Cup race to never be broadcast flag to flag. 1991 Motorcraft 500. So you have Barkdahl there, Harry Hyde, Derek Cope, 1990 Daytona 500 winner, made his final start this year at Daytona and brushed the wall after 3 laps, and it was the end of the day. Looks like we have a 91 Maxx peeking out there. There's Chuck Little, Dick Moroso, and Sam McMahon III. Who is this going to be? Let's flip it over. Who's this going to be? Dale Inman. Dale Inman, crew chief, Hall of Famer, 8-time crew chief champion. Very cool. Dale Inman card. Got to meet Dale in person in Indianapolis. A very, very nice man, very humble. Went up to him and asked him, would you, Mr. Inman, would you mind signing this card for me? And he stopped me. He's like, absolutely, young man, I'll be glad to. He was very, very happy. There's Mike Wallace. Not sure if he'll ever get reinstated into NASCAR. Not sure what he said, but I'm sure they didn't like it. I know it was something political, but we're not going to go down that rabbit hole. Jimmy Hensley, Clifford Allison, son of Bobby, brother of Davey, Todd Bodine. So again, you kind of see a pattern here with the Maxx cards as far as the coalition and the way that they are packaged. And we have another 91 Maxx peeking out of the back there. Not sure who that's going to be. Darby mentioned earlier that the 91 Nemechek is the rookie, so we did pull one of those earlier. That was plenty cool. I was thinking he had a card in 1990, but could be wrong. Let's flip it over because these have been upside down. And your vintage card, it's a Memorable Moments card from North Wilkesboro. Rob Moroso and Richard Petty. Couldn't tell you if this is the fall race. Okay, it says First Union 400, so this is the spring race. If this was the fall race, that would have been Rob's last career start. But that was the spring race, which would have been Brett Bodine's first career win during that scoring snafu that they have. We have Kenny Bernstein starts off this pack. Of course, this stack is for Lee H. Hope you're watching, Lee. There's Ernie Irvin, Daytona 500 winner, Rick Wilson, Mike Chase. And if you notice, Mike Chase is actually in an A.J. Foyt Racing uniform. In 1991, he raced a few races for A.J., trying to kind of get a Cup career started, but really didn't. He was a West Coast driver and had some good runs over on the West Coast in the Winston West Series. There's Randy LaJoie, 2-time Busch Series champion. 1988 ARCA Series champion Tracy Leslie. Bobby Hamilton, he's a former Truck Series champion. Jim Bound did awesome out west. Charlie Glotzback holds the all-time race record at Bristol for the record speed. I believe that was back in 1971. 3-time Truck Series champion, I believe. I think he's got 3 titles. Jack Sprague. Got some more crew guys here, and I see an 88. Is that an 88 Maxx peeking out? It is. Let's see what we got here. Looks like it's going to be a track, or it could be a car. Oh, yeah, very nice. So you have Neil Bonnet, Jeff Bodine, Bobby Allison, and Buddy Baker, if we can get it in focus. And I apologize, guys. This thing has just been a bear all night on the focus. Going through the YouTube app, it's just being certainly most unfriendly. Alabama Bobby's still going strong, so that's a nice card. Excuse me, felt the sneeze coming on here. So we got 2 more packs for Lee H. I've been opening these backwards since the vintage card has been in the back of the pack. On the first round, they were on the front of the pack. So, just kind of shows you that even Maxx didn't have their game 100% back in the day. So you have a Jeff Burton card. And I always like how there's all the different drivers, the crewmen, the all-pro guys, etc., etc. Beth Bruce, Winston Kelly. Next one should be Ned Jarrett. So it's muscle memory here with these. You kind of know who and what's coming up. Haven't hit any Jeff Gordon cards this round. There's a nice Dale Earnhardt, nice Harry Gant win. Another nice Dale Earnhardt win. There's Taylor Nicole as a young child, probably about a year and a half old there. We have another 91 Maxx peeking out. Let's see who that's going to be. And it's going to be... Is it a driver? It's going to be a driver. Jack Ingram, Iron Man Jack Ingram, two-time Busch Series champion. He was the 82 and 85 Series champion. Sam Ard won in 83 and 84. But Jack did have some sportsman titles back in the 70s to go along with it. Iron Man Jack Ingram, I believe he does TTM. Of course, he was injured in an automobile accident about 2 years ago, pretty badly mangled up, but from what I understand, he's made a pretty good recovery from that. So we have Daryl Waltrip, starts this pack off. Bill Stavola. They owned a company in New Jersey called Trap Rock Industries. I believe it was a mining company. Felix Sabatis. There's Morgan Shepherd. Didn't mean to not mention Junie Don Levy. There, now we mentioned Gordon a few minutes ago, and there he is. So, Lee, you got yourself a second-year Jeff Gordon card. Very nice. And then there's Harry Gant. Of course, some of you may already know this. He was my all-time favorite NASCAR driver. There's Joe Nemechek. Art Krebs. Timmy Arp. Mike Chaplin. And Dick Beatty. And we have a 91 Maxx peeking out again. And who's this going to be? I'm going to say it's going to be Rodney Combs just based on that card, if I remember it right. Nope, Peter Suspenzo. Peter Suspenzo. He was a driver briefly in the ARCA series, but I know he went to become a crew chief. So that is your stack, Lee. You got some awesome cards there. Congratulations. Really like that Jeff Gordon you pulled. So we'll get these set off to the side here. And again, you guys will need to email me your addresses if you haven't already. So we're down to the last two. We are down to bottom left, which is Tyler. Don't know if you're still in the chat, Tyler. I think you may have stepped out earlier. Yeah, you did step out. So Tyler is bottom left. Box 2. Then we'll have one more stack to go after this one. Of course, like I said, this is just the way the box was displayed at the shop that I purchased it at when we were on vacation. So the first box I got off of Steel City, and naturally I'm going to knock the camera over, so I apologize for that. Hey, yes, Tyler, you're back just in time to watch me knock the camera down. So hopefully this thing will last. So this is the first pack of your second stack. You had a stack in the first box. So you're going to start off with Dale Jarrett. You're going to start off with Dale Jarrett. Ed Barrier. So that means, who was the other Ed that we had? Ed Ferree. I knew there was an Ed behind him. Dave Marcus. So yeah, I picked these up on vacation. The first box I got off of Steel City, and they have no more 92 Black Maxx. They are gone. So I don't know if I bought the last one from them or how that went, but there are no more 92 Black Maxx. So I got Tony Glover, Pit Crew Champs, and you have an 88 Maxx coming up here. So let's flip it over. See who it might be. Looks like it's going to be a car card. No, it's not. It's a person. It's hair on top. Trevor Boys. So a Trevor Boys rookie. Trevor was a journeyman driver. A lot of you guys may or may not know much about Trevor. He raced for Rookie of the Year in 1983, ran the full season in 1984. I believe he finished 17th or 18th in points. He was driving for James Hilton. He's had 2 career top 10 finishes, but he was driving always in highly underfunded equipment, so he made the best of what he had. His son Wheeler Boys, I believe, made a few Xfinity and truck starts about mid-2000s, like 04, 05, 06, somewhere thereabouts. Trevor just didn't get that big break. He ran a lot of sprint car races in Calgary. Tyler Stout, I got some decent cars. Really, that's pretty cool. What were you able to pick up? Always love going to flea markets. Love checking those out. They're always, you never know what you can find. I found some pretty incredible stuff at the flea markets last few years. Always like finding die casts. You got some All-Pro cards here. Ooh, you got an All-Pro Dale Earnhardt card. Very nice. Set that one aside. You have an 89 Maxx card coming up. Wouldn't that be sweet if you pulled a Dale Earnhardt rookie? So let's flip this over and see who you're... Oh, you got another 92 Maxx here. You got the Bill Elliott win. So let's see who you got here. Wow, Rob Moroso. Rob Moroso, 1989 Busch Series champion. Thinking Rob's rookie was in 19... Yeah, that would be his rookie card. So that is a rookie card of Rob Moroso. I was thinking the 1990 card, but that would have been after that one. Once again, my Sunday night math skills aren't that great. Up next, Bob Rahilly, co-owner of Raymock. Rusty Wallace, Mark Martin. So you got some Hall of Fame guys so far in this pack. Mike McLaughlin. Mike should make it in the Hall of Fame because of his modified days. He was a strong modified driver. Chad Little, who's an official now. We talked about that. John Paul Jr. and his controversial whereabouts in the late 80s and early 90s. Larry Phillips should get in the Hall of Fame, I would hope, at some point. So we're going through some of your All-Pro guys here. And then 91 Maxx, 93 Maxx, 96 Action Pack. Oh, I like that 96 Action Pack. Was that Action Pack Credentials? Because I know Action Pack had a couple of sets in 96. Who do you have on your 91 Maxx here? Pit Crew Champions. The 1990 Pit Crew Champions. Of course, we talked about Mike Rich. Mike would be... They won the Pit Crew Championship, and then a couple weeks later, sadly, Mike Rich was killed in Atlanta. But yeah, 96 Action Pack. Always like the 93 Maxx. That green border really sets it off from a lot of the other sets. I like this set too, the 92 Black Maxx. I think it looks really classy with the gold foil printing and those pinstripes on the side and the black border. Black border cards are hard to keep in mint condition, but these ones are very sharp. So Larry Mack, he'll probably get in the Hall of Fame sometime, I'm sure. Ernie Elliott should. Based on his Busch Series career, Larry Pearson should. But we'll see what happens with that. And you got a Jeff Gordon BGN rookie card. Very nice. So you got Jack Ingram, Steve Grissom, Clyde McLeod. And who's your 91 Maxx vintage card? Is there another card there? It feels like there's 2 cards there. Yeah. Renee White. So let's see who your 91 Maxx card is. Slow reveal. Jeff Hammond. Very nice. Jeff Hammond, former championship crew chief for Daryl Waltrip. I think he was co-crew chief in 80. He was on the Scene Vault podcast too. I know I hype the Scene Vault podcast a lot on here, but it is just... I love their format. I like how they go through and they talk to the... They let the guests tell the story. They don't ask questions. They do ask questions, but it's not a Q&A format. They'll go through and they'll ask a question, and then if the host runs off in the weeds, that's what they do. They don't even try to bring them back because they like the fans really like all that detail about history, about, well, this is what I seen and this is what I did, and their accounts, and so it's got a really, really nice list. I think they're up to 100. They got to be getting close to 150 episodes. But it's been a nice run for them. and I correspond with them pretty regular, and they're pretty active over on Twitter and have a pretty good following. And then their YouTube channel, they have a lot of videos up of their interviews, so I recommend you go check out their channel. And somebody's getting a 1988 Maxx here. Is it going to be a driver or a car? Is it going to be another Rodney Combs? It looks like it. No, it's another Trevor Boys. Well, you're stuck with two Trevor Boys rookies. They are rookies, but that's how it rolls sometimes in these cards. It's kind of like when I pulled two sequentially numbered Anthony Alfredos back-to-back in a recent 2021 box. I mean, literally, it's the same box, and I think it was like 193 out of 199 and 194 out of 199. Just literally two back-to-backs in the same box. So you got a Terry Labonte, Hall of Famer, Jimmy Spencer. Nice 90. I really like that card. That's probably one of my favorite Earnhardt cards. Him with that championship trophy. Got a Davey Allison. Daryl Waltrip first win as an owner. And I do see an 89 Maxx peeking out of the back there, so you never know what that's going to be. I think we've gotten lucky with these vintage cards and haven't come across any just real stinkers like a checklist or something like that. There's Bill Elliott, Hall of Famer. Let's flip this over and see who your 89 Maxx card is of. It's pretty well centered. Maybe 48-52 left, right, and it's another Riverside card. It's pretty cool. Be nice to get signed by a few of the drivers, maybe Ricky, Rusty, and whoever else. That was the last race for the Cup Series at Riverside in 1988. I missed that track. I didn't like it so much when I was a kid growing up watching it on TV, but as I look back now, they really had some really nice races there. We have Dave Fuge. Again, we're going to not rapid fire through these, but I want to give everybody a chance to look through the cards as we go through them. Of course, this is a 300 card set. Yeah, 300 card set. 91 was 240 cards. So 300 cards, that was a lot for a racing card set. Davey Allison, Kenny Wallace. Talked about H.B. Bailey a little bit ago. He was a part-time driver for many, many years. I believe his best finish was 5th at Darlington in the spring of 72, if I remember right. And what your throwback card, your vintage card, is going to be a 1990 Maxx. It's not a Holly Farms card. Ronald Cooper. Ronald Cooper, former Busch Series driver. He has one win, 1989 at Lanier Raceway in Georgia, driving his family-owned team. I think if Ronald would have got some funding behind him, I think he could have been, he wouldn't have been a superstar, but he might have been one of those guys at like a Buckshot Jones level that was a semi-consistent winner. Run up front a lot, maybe even more like a Mike McLaughlin. I think if he could have just got a little bit of backing, he would have done pretty good. So we got some Hall of Fame candidates here, along with Junior Johnson, who was in the first class of the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Butch Mock, Rick Mast, Ricky Rudd, Phil Parsons, Jeff Bodine, Bill Venturini, see Shauna Robinson, Peter Suspenzo, Phil Barkdahl, and who's the 91 Maxx? Looks like it is Dale Earnhardt, 1990 race number 9 at Talladega. That's a pretty good race, if I remember right. Held off Greg Sachs. Greg Sachs was driving a Hendrick Motorsports / Paul Newman owned car. Sponsored by Slim Fast. So it was a very, very strong card. I think it was, maybe Brock Beard has a video up about the history or how Greg Sachs changed Hendrick Motorsports and basically created the career of Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon. It's a very interesting video once you follow that bouncing dot. So Tyler, this is your last pack of the day. Got some nice cards. I know you got some good cards in the first round. The second round's been a little less good to you, but you still got some nice cards. All-Pro cards, A.J. Foyt. Can't go wrong with A.J. Foyt, 4-time Indy 500 winner. Hall of Famer Dale Inman. Hall of Famer Waddell Wilson. Robin Pemberton, many career wins. Eddie Dickerson. Tommy Kendall, legendary in the road racing game, as is Irv Hare. Stanley Smith, rest in peace. And your last vintage card is going to be a 1991 Maxx. Memorable moments. So this is from Phoenix. Not sure what they're going to talk about here. I'm not sure that we'll find out, but look at it off camera. Just talking about the Phoenix race from 1990. So Tyler, that was your second and final stack of the day. We'll just put these off to the side here, and I'll get those ready to be boxed up in our final stack. Darby, you have the bottom right stack in the box. Get your little placard ready. So we're going to start your 9-pack run here. So good luck. So we'll rip these open. Looks like we got a 91 Maxx there on the back. Let's see, I've been trying to open these backwards. Ooh, we start with Davey Allison. How about that? That's your favorite guy right out of the box. Awesome. A 92 Black Maxx Davey Allison. I know you wouldn't have it any other way to start. Cecil Eunice. H.B. Bailey. So we got some NASCAR officials. We know we'll have 3 or 4 of those coming up here. Les Richter. Legendary Rams player, Harry Gant. McClure Brothers. Leo Jackson. Junior Johnson. Chuck Ryder. Wood Brothers. Lynn Wood. I can never remember that one. Butch Mock. And who is your 91 Maxx card of? It's a driver. Larry Pearson. Not used to seeing Larry Pearson without gray hair. I've always been accustomed to seeing Larry in his later years of the Busch Series driving the 92 car when he had a little bit more silver in his hair, kind of like his dad David Pearson, the Silver Fox. Of course, 1990, he was driving for Larry Hendrick Motorsports. Number 41 car in the Cup Series. There's Tracy Leslie, Bobby Hamilton, Jimmy Bound, Charging Charlie Glotzback, as they used to call him back in the day. Jack Sprague. Got some crew guys, all-pro crewmen here. We're not really going to take our time. We really went in depth with these guys in the first box, kind of why this went on for almost 2 hours. Hour and 45 minutes almost on our ticker over here. Kirk Shelmerdine, Tony Glover, Richard Broom, and who's the other 91 Maxx going to be? Ken Schrader. Very nice. Ken Schrader. I don't know if that's the update or not. I'm going to have to... That's one thing I got to learn is the difference between the updates and the base release. Which I do have a... Haven't mentioned it, but I still need to do my set review from the 91 Maxx. I still have it sitting off to the side here from when I got from Danny and Gray's Cards and Toys. He had a sale a couple months ago, and I just have not had a chance to do a review on that set in particular. There's Paul Andrews. He should be in the Hall of Fame. There's Bobby Labonte, James Hilton, James Harvey Hilton, as everybody likes to call him, Jimmy Smut Means, Bill Sedgwick, drove the Spears car for a number of years, Elton Sawyer, Kirk Shelmerdine. Getting some all-pro cards here. There's Harry Gant, the Bandit, Ken Squire. Guess he's getting over his battle with that dreaded virus that's going around. Dr. Dick Berggren. Checklist, Rusty Wallace, Davey Allison, Phoenix win, and Bobby Hillin Jr. rookie card. Bobby Hillin Jr. Just had a notification that popped up that distracted me just a little bit, but it was for a video on YouTube that I'm going to have to check out here in a little bit. is one of Tim Mosey's videos. You guys have to check out everybody's channel that I talk about here, whether it's Danny and Grays or Cleveland Cards or Cardinals fan or Tim Mosey or whoever else just kind of pops in from time to time. Go check out their channels too. They got a lot of good stuff. We like to talk about a lot of cards and races and so forth. So that's a nice card. I wish that I could have had an opportunity to get all 5 drivers to have signed one of those cards. That would have looked really nice. There's that Kyle Petty card. You got an 89 Maxx peeking out. Don't know if you're going to get the Dale rookie or not. That's kind of what we've been on the hunt for so far. I think the best cards that we pulled have been the Davey rookies. Ricky Craven, I think that's a rookie. 92 Black Maxx. Bill Elliott, most popular driver. Got one more. Looks like we got the checklist. Got one more after the checklist. Another Davey Win. Davey Win card. So then who's your 89 Maxx card going to be of? Wow. Bobby Allison. Really cool. Bobby Allison 89 Maxx base set card. Very cool. So we got 5 more packs to go, it looks. And then this first break will be a wrap. I just have to figure out my focus issues here on this phone. That's been a little frustrating. Maybe I just need to go into the settings and finagle with it a little bit more. Ricky Rudd. Harry Gant was the first one. There's Ernie Irvan, Daytona 500 win. Dewey Livengood. Doug Williams. Of course, we're getting into, that'd be a nice one to get TTM. I need to find mine, get it TTM'd. If I didn't already send it off to him. DW. Mark Smith. Billy Stavola. Felix Sabatis. Who is going to be your throwback card? It is a 1990 Maxx. Race number 21. So that's the, is this going to be the, yeah, the 1989 Heinz Southern 500. I was at this race. Dale Earnhardt won this race. Daryl Waltrip was going for the Winston Million. Ended up brushing the wall fairly early in the race and just was relatively uncompetitive. Who won the pole? Alan Quickie was on the pole for that race. And there wasn't really a whole lot of action in that race. It was just long green flag runs. Ooh, there you go. I know you like A.J. Foyt. So you got you a nice A.J. Foyt card. May need to try to send that one TTM. Nice Dale Inman card there. Waddell Wilson. So tons of Hall of Famers going on. Robin Pemberton. Eric Dickerson. Yeah, because not Eddie Dickerson. He didn't play for the Colts and the Raiders and all them other teams. Irv Hare, Stanley Smith, rest in peace, Stanley Smith, Bobby Helen, Jeff Burton. Got some old pro cards coming up. Don't know how many more there are. I think this is your last one, Beth Bruce. Maybe there's one more. These cards are deceptively thick. So yeah, it was Winston Kelly as your last one, but we've seen that one about 8 times. And who is this one going to be? And you got another Bobby Allison. So, I don't know how that they decided how to pack these, but that's really weird that they have the... We've hit a lot of duplicates with those. I remember buying 3 boxes of this at a card shop here in Greenwood a few years ago, and it seemed like it was pretty steady with duplicate cards. So we have Dale Jarrett, goodness. Ned Jarrett, checklist. We have DW. Earnhardt. It's a nice Earnhardt victory card. Harry Gant. Another Earnhardt victory card. We have, who is that? Steve Bird. One of the Pearson boys. The Marlin Crash from Bristol Spring 91. The Mass Crash from Talladega 91. The rookies. Presley. Jeff Green. Jim Sauter. And you have another 1990 Maxx card of Race 27. Yeah, Jim Sauter. So Race 27 at the Rockingham. This was Mark Martin's first career Cup win. Why isn't this focusing? Why won't it focus here? Seriously. I'm gonna try wiping this lens. Maybe I should have done that at the beginning. And that did nothing. So got 2 more packs to go. This has been a really fun break. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Wanted to give it a shot with some older stuff before we got into some newer stuff. Eventually, as the market cools off a little bit, I'd like to get into some of the newer stuff. But if you guys have been on Steel City or any of the other sites recently, you'll notice that prices are sky high right now. A nice Davey Allison, the Winston card. I know you'll like that one. Race number 6. Race number 2 at Richmond. A nice Dale Earnhardt victory card. So I see a 91 Maxx kind of popping out of the back there. Robbie Loomis. Dennis Conner. Ooh, nice Richard Petty. That's pretty sweet. That'd be a nice TTM. And DK Ulrich was going to wrap up the 92 portion of this pack. And you're going to get Bud Moore. I don't think... Is he in the Hall of Fame yet? I don't think he's in the Hall of Fame yet. If he's not, he should be. Definitely should be in the Hall of Fame. Darby, this is your last pack. This is our last pack of the night. My throat will definitely be welcoming a nice drink of water or soda or something. He is in the Hall of Fame. I couldn't remember, Rick. Thank you. It's the way NASCAR's Hall of Fame is and the way they do it now. I don't like the way they do it now with the 3 modern and the 2 pioneers. I think it ought to just get 5 names off the list and go with those 5 names. Yeah, you're right. He is. I think he was in the 3rd class, if I remember right. So that would have been, what, 10, 11, 12? He would have been in the class of 12, probably. I need to just get a list and keep it and memorize that list. So Cale Yarborough, Don Bierswell, Sterling Marlin, Brett Bodine, Michael Waltrip. So we're wrapping up here our last pack. It looks like our last card is going to be a 91 Maxx. So we didn't pull any Dale Earnhardt rookies today, but we did get a lot of other nice cards. So got some NASCAR officials here. Doyle Ford. There's your... Is that your last 92 Black Maxx? No, this is your last 92 Black Maxx. And who's your 91 Maxx going to be? Robin Pemberton. So... Started off strong with the Davey card because I know that's your favorite, but got some nice cards thrown in between there. I'll get your... And did this... Okay, it still says I'm live. I hope I didn't lose anybody. It just blipped on my screen here. So, hope you guys enjoyed this live stream of this 1992 Black Maxx break. Don't know why that did that. It said I'm live. It just popped up and said I'm live. Yeah, I know I'm live. It said I've been live on this counter the whole time. So anyway... All you guys, thank you for making this break possible. I had a lot of fun with it. So hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday, or at least what's left of it. So thanks for watching. Tomorrow, I think we're going to break these 3 packs of Absolute because my voice probably can't take too much more. So tomorrow, plan on that. We're going to break those 3 packs of 2020 Absolute Football by Panini. Thank you to the guys. Thanks for watching, and we will see you tomorrow. So have a great night.